Welcome back to episode 8 of the $100 to $10,000 series, where I invest $100 every month to the S&P 500 index fund until it grows to $10,000 to show everyone that you don't need a PhD or be a millionaire to invest successfully. This week we are up 1.9%, and overall we are up 8.57%. Moving on to the news items of the week. We saw the largest IPO in 2020, which used to be Warner Bros., but was beat by a company called Royalty Pharma, ticker symbol RPRX, with 77.6 million shares being sold to the market at $44 per share, valuing the company at over $26 billion. Biotech and pharmaceutical companies tend to do well soon after the IPO process because these kinds of companies often have a new form of technology that can dominate the market if the product proves to be useful, and so investors tend to account for the future earnings of the company when they purchase these stocks. And if not, they'll be forgotten and fall to the bottom of the barrel. But there is something that is unique about Royalty Pharma. The company doesn't directly manufacture or sell the drugs. Instead, it acts like an investor to new pharmaceutical projects, giving companies the funds to develop and manufacture the drugs, and taking a cut of the profits once the drugs are sold. Because they mainly provide the funds at the start of the project, Royalty Pharma is said to have a very high profit margin, around 90%, which is amazing if you compare it to a typical biotech or pharmaceutical company like Vertex Pharmaceuticals, which Royalty Pharma bought a share of the royalties for its cystic fibrosis treatments, and it has a profit margin of about 50%. Royalty Pharma is able to maintain a high profit margin because once they invest in a royalty program, all they have to do is collect the payments once the project that they invested in starts making a profit. The risk to Royalty Pharma is if they make a series of bad investments where they end up paying for a project that goes nowhere and they lose all investments. But given the limited amount of financial information we have at the moment, Royalty Pharma, unlike a lot of companies that just IPO'd, is a very profitable company that has pretty consistent revenues over the last 3 years, so I would keep an eye on this company for the next several quarters. Shopify stocks have surged this week after announcements were made that the company is partnering with Walmart to expand the Walmart Marketplace, which launched in 2009. This is big news as the main focus of this new marketplace is for small and medium-sized businesses to sell their products under Walmart. Sounds familiar? Yep. Walmart is taking on Amazon in the third-party online shopping space. Big moves by Walmart that is well-timed as many people are forced to shop online. E-commerce sales grew over 14% in the first quarter of 2020, and e-commerce sales worldwide is expected to reach over $4 trillion by the end of this year. And looking at Walmart's latest investment community call transcripts, which I will leave a link in the description below if you guys want to take a look yourself, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon states, quote, "We want to drive this e-commerce business and the marketplace that goes with it as aggressively as we can," end quote. After claiming that e-commerce business in the US grew at a rapid pace of 74% in the quarter. And I think Walmart is doing the right thing here because a lot of the thousands of Shopify sellers will try to sell their products on Walmart. And at a time when demand is surging in the e-commerce sector, there will be a lot of opportunity to be had. Moving on, if you missed going to the theaters to watch your favorite movies on the big screen, there's good news for you. AMC is getting ready to reopen its doors with over 450 locations reopening by mid-July and the other 150 reopening by July 24th, the premiere date of Disney's upcoming live-action version of Mulan. But theaters won't be running at full capacity just yet because they are going to be using a 4-phased approach, with Phase 1 limiting capacity to 30% by blocking every other row of seats, Phase 2 upping the limit to 40% of capacity, Phase 3 planned to be around early September at 50%, and full capacity expected no earlier than Thanksgiving. AMC stated on Thursday that they would not require face masks for customers in states that have no regulations on face masks. But after an outcry from social media, everyone will be required to wear face masks even in states that don't require a face mask in public. And between each show times, theaters will be cleaned and seats will be disinfected every night. On the business side of AMC, the company announced earlier this month that the company may not be able to come back from the financial damage caused by this pandemic unless it restarts its business by mid-July. In the first quarter of 2020, AMC has declared a massive $2.2 billion loss as a result of the forced shutdown across all its locations. The losses were made up of $1.85 billion in impairment charges, $1.7 billion of which was made up of goodwill write-offs. Revenues were also down more than 20% in March compared to 2019. AMC has been struggling to keep its customer base from moving over to online sources of entertainment, as demonstrated by its banning of Universal movies from showing in its theaters after Universal released its Trolls movie online as a digital exclusive, which made over $100 million in revenues. That's gonna do it for this week. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button with the notification bell turned on.